Hello and welcome to Fantasy Premier League, the D in its journey. Today you are here for my final plugs for Game Week 15 and my transfer tips and my team selection. Look, Game Week 14 is serving pretty well. It is still actually currently ongoing as we speak at the moment, but I am on track to get inside hopefully the top 45,000 teams, provided there's no big sort of point scorers in the Tottenham Bournemouth game. João Pedro obviously got me he's on track to, I think, to get me 5 or 6 points from the Brighton game against Fulham. If he had a Wobie, how good was he, by the way? Just FYI. But look, Game Week 15 is literally almost here. As Game Week 14 ends, there's literally a day before the deadline, slightly more than a day, but like pretty close to a day, half a day, 1.5 days, whatever you want to call it. Look, so you've got to make these decisions quickly. I'm actually not making any transfers for this game week. I'm just treating it like it's not a game week. So that way I'll have 2 transfers in game week 16. And I think that's probably a good way of approaching it. It doesn't appear to be any massive price rises if you have already got the likes of Salah and Saka. If you don't, then you probably need to make some transfers because they are both about to rise in price again tonight. They might, I think they're almost 100% guaranteed to rise before the deadline. So if you do want them and you're going to get priced out of them, you probably need to move quicker than, the speed of light. You need to get in there and get them into your team before it becomes all a bit too late. So without further ado, let's have a look at my final plugs and transfer tips for game week 15. All right, so which players are essential moving over the busy December Christmas period and must be playing 90? Now, Chelsea players are, I don't know. I feel like because of the fact that there's no more midweek games until Christmas, Boxing Day, New Year's, I feel like they're okay, and I'm pretty sure we'll go back to seeing the team that we normally see on the weekend this weekend. So Colwill and Jackson will definitely be in against Tottenham, so we'll call Perma. But I think that if we get to those midweek fixture games, I think you'll definitely see rotation from Chelsea. I think Maresca's definitely made that clear. And look, I've been impacted by this. I didn't have Colwill or Jackson play. Thankfully, I had Isaac on the bench, so he's come on for Jackson, so I'm not complaining at all, and we'll get into that. Lots of people transferred Isaac out for Jackson, and you'd absolutely be filthy with your lot in life if that was the case. But look, sometimes this can happen, so just keep that in mind. So first point, Man City players could now serve as really good differentials because of the fact that they do look like they're back in form. They obviously swatted aside Nottingham Forest. They've got Crystal Palace up this week. Erling Haaland could potentially be an option, but I don't think you jump on him before he actually starts scoring some goals, which would be nice. Kevin De Bruyne, though, is an interesting player. 9.4 mil, quite a few people have started bringing him in. If he stays fit, he's going to make that City team a lot better, and he's definitely going to be scoring points. I think that's the best way to describe it, really. I just don't know how long he can stay fit for, but if he can stay fit for a substantial amount of time, he could be a really good asset. And look, check out my wildcard draft this week. I've actually made a draft that has him in it. So there you go. Spoiler alert. Make sure you check that video out that came out yesterday. So look, they could be really good options. Guardiola even could be an option. The only problem I've got with City options is always the pep roulette factor. And this can happen from game week to game week. And over December, you really just don't want to. You want to just be able to pick players, have them in your team, bang. You don't have to worry about them again. So, which combination of forwards do you go with? Do you bring back the Isaac? I mean, some people that traded him out for Jackson, do you just bring him back? I'm not sure, is the honest answer. And realistically, you shouldn't have sold him in the first place. Like, no, who was actually going to play him against Liverpool? I definitely wasn't. I played João Pedro and Jackson over him. They had the better fixtures. I wasn't expecting anything from the Liverpool game. The fact that he's come off my bench for Jackson and scored 11 points is absolutely massive. I'm loving it. This is giving me a green arrow for days. Now, the next point. I obviously, in my game week 14 transfer, I actually bought in Timber to cover the Arsenal defence. Now, masterstroke, what an absolute transfer that was. I mean, I got rid of Van Heck and Brian and Perma, who combined for, I think, 3 points. And I bought in Timber, who got me 14, and Mitoma. Now, Mitoma didn't get me much, but that's 16 points compared to 3. That's probably 2 of the best transfers I've made this season, without doubt. And I'm very happy that I'm covering the Arsenal defence. I think they're going to be looking good. Will they keep a clean sheet against Fulham? I hope so. But Fulham are a decent team, and it is away from home. It's a London derby, so I wouldn't want to be playing more than one player from the Arsenal defence, but I'm quite happy to have one. And I think this is the key. I think you've almost got to cover the really good defences with at least one player. So like my next probable move is to try and get a Liverpool defender in game week 16. And I'm not sure how I'm going to facilitate that. It might be that Mitoma, who's only been in my team for 1 week and probably 2 weeks next week, he might actually get the boot to a real cheap enabler in order for me to get in a Liverpool defender, like a Van Dijk or a Trent. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one I want to go with yet. But that's definitely something I'm looking at moving forward. And I think that that's probably what you need to do. Yes, it means you can't spend as much money up forward, but I think there's a way of doing it. And I think you do need to cover those good defences. And that's definitely something I think that you need to keep in mind. Tottenham assets, even though fixtures look decent, they are in a void. I mean, I'm currently recording this video while they are playing Bournemouth away. And Pedro Porro is not starting. He's on the bench. I don't even know if he's on the bench. But it's 55 minutes into that game. They're losing currently as we speak. And look, you just can't trust him. You do not know what you're going to get from him from week to week. And I think that's just the best way of putting it. So which player needs moving on? Brian Perma, I would suggest, probably needs moving on. The stats continue to be poor for him. And look, are they going to improve? I don't think they're going to improve. That's the honest answer. 8 Nori as well. I mean, you could jump off early here. I don't think he's going to rise to 5 mil, which means if you bought him in at 4.4 like me, you're going to make 0.2 mil on him. I don't think you're going to make 0.3. I mean, Wolves just have not been defending well the last couple of games, and they haven't been playing good teams either, and have just been getting absolutely spanked. Like, how do you concede 4 goals to Everton is beyond me. Dominic Calvert-Lewin can't even score a goal. Like, what's going on there? So, look, they've got West Ham this week, and, I don't know. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be buying into Wolves. I definitely wouldn't be buying Cunha and things like this, so just keep that in mind. So, who are the best options to replace these issues then? I actually really like Anthony Gordon. Newcastle's run from here does look good. He obviously played well against Liverpool as well. Jared Bowen still looks like a really good option moving forward for the next 4 weeks. He was super unlucky in that game this week, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. And I think that, moving forward, you've just got to sort of roll with it and hope for the best. So, without further ado, let's jump into the team selection part of this particular video. Now, I am going to start with the FPL challenge. So, this week it is big spenders. I obviously didn't go too well last week because I had Man United players and none of them did anything against Arsenal. So, I was hoping that someone would score something, but no one did anything. So, that was highly disappointing on my part. But this week, I've tried to spend up as much money as possible. So I've got Haaland, De Bruyne, Perma, Watkins, Saka, and Salah. I've got captain on Salah. I think that's definitely the smart play. I mean, you can't bet against him at the moment. He's been just so good, and I think that's just, I think the captaincy picks itself this week. To be honest with you, I've got Alexander-Arnold and Virgil in the back, and Raya and Guardiola. You can take your pick really. I just try to spend as much money as possible. Still got 1.2 in the bank. I still like João Pedro as the one enabler in this team. Leicester away. I couldn't see any other forward that I liked better for 7 mil between him and anyone else. I still think he's probably the best pick this week. So look, that is my FPL challenge team. Let me know what you think of it. What are you doing? Do you play FPL challenge? Do you care about it? Do you enjoy having these bits in the videos? I'm not 100% sure. Let me know. Over to my team selection for this week now. Barford Bruggen. Oh, mate. I somehow I kind of wish that I'd just paid up for another goalkeeper. And that might be what I do. I might wait for Alisson to come back into the team, and that might be my entrance into the Liverpool backline. Because, as I said, I only want to cover him with one player. And that's just where my line of thinking is. I don't want double up defense. As I said, I don't want to be spending heaps of money in the defense. The clean sheets this week alone, there's only been 4 teams to this point. 5 of Bournemouth keep a clean sheet out of 20 teams. That's just not enough guarantee that your team's going to keep a clean sheet. There's been so many goals this season, and defense has just been coughing up 1 goal a game pretty much. So I just think that you're better off just rolling the dice and picking players that are going to have attacking returns from your back line, if that makes sense. So that's definitely something that I think is probably the play moving forward. So, yeah, look, that's just my line of thinking in regards to it. So, this week, I've gone with Bart Verbruggen and goal. It is, again, another hard task. I feel like Fabianski could keep a clean sheet against Wolves, but, like, the XG numbers Fabianski's been conceding, how he's kept 2 clean sheets in the last 3 is still beyond me. And I think I prefer Bart Verbruggen away against Leicester. I'm not sure. But they've got the new manager bounce. That could well change before the deadline. That is the only real thing. And obviously the defence again is a bit of an interesting one as well. So Julian Timber starts away at Fulham. 14 points for me on his debut on my team. I'm hoping for something similar. Probably won't get that, but I'm happy with him in the team regardless. Kirkes is going to be starting this week against Ipswich away. At the moment, he's currently on 6 points, so I don't know if Tottenham are going to score in the last half an hour. If they don't, I'm going to be very happy, man. That's going to help raise my rank up even more. Hall is obviously playing away against Brentford. I'd like him, though. He's on a lot of set pieces, and he's got good attacking potential, and I think Newcastle score goals against Brentford. Brentford haven't been playing very well defensively, so I'm expecting goals there, so he starts. Into the midfield now. I am playing a midfield 5 again this week. And this is what I've gone with. So Bruno Fernandes is a home to Nottingham Forest. I'm hoping he's back in one of the inside 10 attacking positions rather than in the centre of midfield. I think he will be. Kobe Mainu and Casemiro likely to start there. And I think we'll see Bruno push back forward, which means that he's got a much higher potential of actually getting some points. So that's my line of thinking there. Cole Palmer starts against Tottenham. Tottenham, you never know what you're going to get. They will concede goals, and I expect Chelsea to score at least a couple. So I'm hoping that Cole Palmer will be involved there. Mitoma starts away against Leicester. Now, this is the hard one. I've dropped actually João Pedro to the bench. Spoiler alert if you're waiting to see what I've got in the forward line. I just think that potentially he plays 90 minutes. João Pedro doesn't. I know João Pedro obviously scored midweek against Fulham with an assist, but I just feel like Mitoma's playing the full 90. I think he's probably a better pick. Mo Salah is my captain. It's after this week where, I would have been inside probably the top 30,000, top 20,000 teams if I'd captained Mo Salah instead of Perma. Definitely, you just can't overlook him anymore. I think he's definitely got to be a player that you've got to just keep in mind. And, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. Mo Salah will remain my captain until further notice because that dude just keeps on pumping out double-figure hauls. It's hard to recommend anyone else other than him at this moment. Back row Saka, he's the vice-captain. He's away at Fulham, but look, his creativity, his chance creation is just up there. And I think against weaker teams like Fulham, they're not a weak team, but they're weaker compared to Man United and things like this. I expect him to get a return there, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was also a double-figure haul. Then up front, Isaac is in. This is the reason why I got him in the first place. I'm looking forward to this run of fixtures. I'm hoping that he delivers. And obviously Nicholas Jackson is fresh. He's been rested. He avoided the yellow card because obviously he didn't play against Southampton. I expect him to be fit and firing and hopefully get involved in the attacking returns against Tottenham, which means that I have left. Let's have a look who I've left on the bench. I have left Fabianski at home to Wolves. As I said, that one could easily change. João Pedro is the first player on the bench in case any of those attacking players do not start. Nori starts in front of Colwell. I do expect Tottenham to score goals, which means that he was the easy one to leave out. Now, Nori can consider himself stiff. I don't know if I've got that one right, but when you've conceded back-to-back 4 goals, I think that's just, quite frankly, not good enough. So he drops out. If anything, he will be the player that makes way for a Liverpool defender if I don't go the goalkeeper route. But yeah, let me know in the comments. That is my team selection for this game week. I'm hoping that I've got it right and I've nailed it. There's no guarantee that I have, but I just like those fixtures. It has become quite a difficult task trying to pick the correct team each week. Legit, it's becoming hard. Thankfully, I didn't leave any points on the bench in game week 14 because of the fact that Jackson and Colwell didn't play, which meant that Kirkes and Isaac came on. So thankfully, that's not going to happen this game week, unfortunately, because those players will be playing because it's Tottenham, and Chelsea will not be rotating because it's not Southampton. So look, that's definitely something to keep in mind. But you do want players that are going to be playing 90 minutes, which is the reason why João Pedro starts on the bench and Mitoma starts on the field. Otherwise, I probably would swap it around. Let me know if there's any changes that you would do. Have I got the 8 Nori call right? Have I got the Fabianski call right? Have I got the captain choice right? Let me know. Unfortunately, I'm not here for a deadline day stream because I am going to see Dom Dollar perform live at Wellington Square in Perth. So Unfortunately, I will not be joining you for one of them this week or next week, sadly, but the videos will be back out as normal next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, please smash the like button. Please press the subscribe button. The last thing I'm going to start on with final transfer tips is in here. This is just for pure people that want to know, should I be buying, should I be avoiding? Now, the top transfers in this week. Mo Salah, yes, buy. Saka, buy. Isaac, I've got him, buy. Watkins, I like his fixture run as well. He's a buy. Salah, he's definitely going to play 90 minutes every week. If that is your one Arsenal defender, I recommend he's playing. Gabriel, we're still unsure about. We don't really know. Alexander-Arnold, I can see why people are bringing him back in. Buy. Cunha is an avoid. 3 more games left for Wolves, and then the fixtures turn, and he just hasn't looked good the last 2 game weeks. I think he's an avoid. Nicholas Jackson, he's had his rest, so I expect him to play. And, you know, he's still on that yellow card tightrope. He's 1 game closer to avoiding that yellow card ban. So I think he's a buy. João Pedro, buy. Perma, buy. Rogers, yes, if he's an enabler, he's still very good. He could become an option again for me as an enabler. Julian Timber, I bought him. Brilliant. Ahmad, yeah. I think he will start playing every game 90 minutes. Virgil van Dijk, yes. Kluivert, I'm not sure. He's blanked for Bournemouth. He was only ever going to get that 20 points. He's not going to get a hat-trick of assists every week. Kelleher, he must be, if Alisson's fit now, I think he comes back in after that mistake at Newcastle. Enzo, definitely a great enabler. Again, if you've got a free Chelsea spot, he would be a player to just whack in there that could come off your bench when needed. His attacking returns have been super good. And De Bruyne has snuck into that list there. I'm going to stop him there. He's been fantastic. I think if he can stay fit, he's definitely a player that you can invest in. Transfers out, and Buemo, yeah, not surprised he's at the top of the list. Haaland, ditto. He's just cost so much money. He's not performing at the level required for 15 million being taken out of your squad. Canade, yep, can see why he's being sold. Smith Rowe, ditto. He did nothing in the Fulham game. Iwobi's actually the player to pick there. Luis Diaz, again, minutes risk. You're not sure about him. Nicholas Jackson, yeah, as I said, he's definitely a buy because obviously of that run. Gabriel, it's a wait and see. You've got to hold him. Cunha, I think you'd hold him for the next 3 weeks. Let's see how he goes. I don't think there's a need to transfer him out immediately. They've still got 3 nice fixtures to come. Solanke, he's a Tottenham player, needs to go in the bin. Chris Wood, the fixtures have run out, and he missed that sitter against City. That's the kind of chance he needs to get if he's actually going to consistently stay in your team. And he didn't, so he has to go. Aït-Nouri, he will be leaving my team shortly. It might be the next couple of weeks. It might be next week. But he'll definitely be leaving. He's made me some money, and that's about all that has to be said there. The defensive returns for Wolves have been god-awful, and he hasn't been getting the attacking returns, which has been disappointing. Guardiola thinks a hold. Garnacho, yeah, I can see why people are selling him, just with the way Ruben Amorim's setting teams up from week to week. I don't think he's nailed on in that team at this moment in time. I think he's better as a bench option. And Welbeck, yeah, people swapping to João Pedro probably. Bruno Fernandes is on that list. I think he's a hold. I think he'll come good. I think he will end up in one of those top 10 attacking positions moving forward. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. That has been my team selection, final plugs and transfer tips for Game Week 15. Good luck, and I'll see you on the other side for Game Week 16. That's been the D Unit.